Chosen one, you embody magical in real time, and it's got people glitching hard. They can't explain it, can't categorize it, can't copy it. You're radiating something otherworldly right now, and every step you take is rewriting the energy around you. The truth is, you know how to stand alone. You stopped chasing validation and started channeling power. The moment you stopped apologizing for existing loudly, the universe shifted to make space for your light. Now the same ones who underestimated you are refreshing your page in disbelief, wondering how you did it. But you didn't do magic. You are magic. You're walking proof that alignment hits harder than approval, and independence is the ultimate glow-up. While you've been rebuilding yourself, doing the shadow work, cutting toxic cords and walking away from people who only wanted pieces of you, an entire audience has been taking notes. The way you move now registers differently. The way you talk carries new weight. The way you carry yourself holds quiet confidence that doesn't announce itself or beg for attention. And it's making people deeply uncomfortable because you're showing what real bravery looks like. Not the performative kind, not the social media kind. The kind that walks away from everything familiar and doesn't look back for validation. Your work motivates people. Yes, even when you feel invisible, even when you think nobody cares. The truth is that eyes are on you constantly. People are studying your moves. Energy is being downloaded. Codes are being cracked. Because something about the way you navigate this world makes others believe possibility exists for them too. You carry this frequency that people can't quite name but feel when you walk into a room. The sensation hits when your words are read. The impact lands in your silence, and it's triggering deep reactions. Because you represent everything some wish could be manifested through courage. You walked away from the money when everyone said it was crazy. You left the relationship that looked perfect on paper but was killing you slowly. You went no contact with family members who were supposed to protect you. You quit the job that was paying bills but stealing your soul. You did all of that while everyone else just watched and whispered about imminent regret. But regret never came. Crumbling never happened. Crawling back never materialized like predicted. Instead, you built something better, something that didn't require permission or approval, and now observation happens from a distance, pretending happiness exists while seething underneath. This is what it looks like to usher in a complete new era. You are a pioneer whether that title was accepted or not. While everyone else complains about the same problems repeatedly, stuck in relationships causing misery, living with parents creating tension, working jobs causing drain, you already jumped. The leap happened off the cliff before knowing how to fly existed. Waiting for the perfect moment never occurred. Waiting until everything was figured out never happened. The knowing came that staying would kill something essential inside, and yes, it looked insane to people watching from the sidelines. The appearance suggested lost sanity. Labels like impulsive got thrown around, failure got predicted, bets were made on when the apology would come. But here's the thing about pioneers, the appearance always reads as crazy to people too scared to move. You're standing at the edge of the cliff, running toward it, leaping into the unknown while everyone else is frozen in fear, convinced that one step forward means certain death. You trust something beyond common understanding. You trust that the divine catches people who are brave enough to jump. You trust that God didn't bring you this far to watch you fall. You trust your inner voice more than fear-based warnings. And that makes you dangerous. Not in a harmful way, but in a way that threatens every system built on keeping people small and scared and manageable. Think about the people who changed your life, the teachers who made belief in self possible, the healers who showed another way, the creators who proved that dreams can become reality. Did arrival at success come by playing it safe, by listening to every voice telling them to be realistic? No. Arrival came by doing exactly what you're doing now, by standing alone when it mattered, by believing in self when nobody else did, by showing up daily even when results weren't visible yet. You're becoming that person for someone else. Right now, someone watches your journey, gathering courage to leave their toxic situation because you showed it's possible. Someone is starting to believe in self again because witnessing you believe in yourself happened. Someone is learning to set boundaries because watching you enforce yours without flinching occurred. Meeting these people might never happen. Direct communication might never come, but your work is landing. Your energy is reaching souls that needed it desperately. The big bad wolves in your life who had you convinced you needed them. Whether it's a parent, a boss, a friend group, or someone you loved, someone has always played that role. Someone who wanted you to believe all power was held by them and you were nothing without their presence. You were supposed to dance for approval, perform for attention, shrink yourself so expansion could happen for them, accept crumbs and pretend a feast was being served. Conditional love got dangled in front of you like bait, expecting chase to continue forever. And maybe for a while participation happened because you're a good person who wanted to believe the best in people. Hope kept showing up that worth would finally be seen. But something woke up inside you. Realization started forming that real love doesn't operate like that. Real support doesn't come with strings attached. Real family doesn't make you beg for basic respect. Real friends don't require dimming your light so their shine can happen. Once clear vision came, unsee became impossible, the spell shattered, and walking away occurred. Now fury exists. Because easy control was supposed to continue, need was supposed to flow more from you toward them than reverse. Filing happened into a box labeled people I can manipulate whenever necessary, and you climbed out of that box, set it on fire, and never looked back. That wasn't part of the plan. Small was supposed to be your permanent state. Loyalty was interpreted as tolerance for anything. Here's what happens when accepting crumbs stops from people who should give you the whole table. Panic sets in. Everything gets thrown at you, trying to get a reaction. Guilt trips appear. Manipulation intensifies. Flying monkeys spread lies. Smear campaigns launch. Victim playing occurs. Whatever it takes to pull you back into drama becomes activated because your absence exposes truth. When thriving without them happens, proof emerges that importance was never as real as pretended. Some people you're dealing with now are so committed to misunderstanding you that the dedication is almost impressive. You could provide detailed explanation with receipts and twisting would still happen because interest in truth doesn't exist. Interest exists only in maintaining the narrative where innocence belongs to them and villain status belongs to you. Let them, release them to their delusions. You don't owe anyone access to your character anymore. Defense isn't required for people determined to misunderstand you. Your real ones already know who you are. The divine already knows. That's sufficient. If this resonates with your inner knowing, hype this video to help fellow chosen ones find their way here. The people meant for your life will recognize the work done. Growth will be seen and celebrated genuinely. Energy will be matched instead of drained. Showing up will happen for you the way you show up for them. When finding these people occurs, treasure them, because real ones are rare. Real ones who can stand in their power alongside you without feeling threatened are even rarer. You might only have a small circle of people like that right now. Maybe none exist yet, just you and the divine. That's exactly where you need to be. This journey of standing alone isn't about isolation. It's about knowing yourself so deeply that being alone becomes preferable to compromising who you are. It's about being so secure in your worth that external validation becomes unnecessary. Let me tell you about your loyal ones, the people who stayed when everyone left, the ones who believed in you when you barely believed in yourself, the ones who saw your potential when drowning in doubt was happening. Those people are warriors. Choice was made to stand with you, not because ease existed, but because recognition happened of something in you that most people miss. Heavy lies the crown. Nobody tells you that standing in your power comes with weight. Responsibility arrives, a target appears on your back. When wearing a crown, people try to knock it off. Testing happens, challenges come, attempts to make you prove yourself repeatedly occur. But proving anything to anyone isn't required. The crown stays on, not because others acknowledge it, but because knowing exists that it belongs there. You're starting to move differently. Your strategy shifted. Being done with over-explaining yourself has arrived. Being done with justifying decisions has completed. Being done with playing small for anyone's comfort has ended. When you speak now, meaning exists. What needs to be said gets stated, and movement continues. No paragraphs of explanation, no essays defending choices, just clear, direct truth, with no room for misinterpretation. People aren't used to this version of you. Being used to the version that bent over backward, keeping everyone happy, was the norm. The version that sacrificed personal needs to keep peace was expected. The version that accepted disrespect to avoid confrontation was anticipated. But that version died, and the new version isn't playing those games. This makes some people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from your people-pleasing patterns. Accusations will come of changing, of being different, of not being who you used to be, and absolute truth exists in those words. Change did happen. Different is real. That's the entire point. Growth requires change. Healing requires transformation. Evolution requires releasing who you were to become who you're meant to be. People who truly love you celebrate this change. Seeing you standing taller, speaking firmer, shining brighter, brings cheers from them. But people who wanted control are losing their minds, because being controllable no longer applies to you. Being predictable has ended. Being someone who can be manipulated with guilt or shame or fear has ceased. Breaking free from programming happened, and scrambling is occurring on their end. Getting you back can't happen. That door closed permanently. Seeing behind the curtain has occurred. Knowing their tricks is complete. Recognizing patterns is instant. Spotting manipulation happens immediately, and falling for it anymore won't occur. Not from family, not from friends, not from romantic interests, not from anyone. Being alone becomes preferable to compromising your peace ever again. This is the ultimate power move. When willingness exists to walk away from anything not serving you, becoming unshakable happens. When attachment to outcomes doesn't exist, becoming unstoppable occurs. When knowing your worth is solid, becoming untouchable emerges. That's exactly where you stand right now, in your power, in your purpose, in divine alignment. You've learned something most people never grasp. Sometimes the most powerful thing possible is walking away from everything and everyone who doesn't honor your essence. Learning has occurred that being alone beats being in bad company. Learning that your peace is worth more than any relationship, job, or amount of money. But you know something beyond their understanding. You know the divine has your back. You know that when alignment with purpose exists, everything needed flows to you. You know that standing alone with God beats standing with a crowd that doesn't get you. You know your value isn't dependent on anyone recognizing it. You know who you are, and that's the ultimate freedom. Think about it. Walking away from money happened, from relationships everyone said were perfect, from family ties people called unbreakable, from jobs offering security. Walking away from all of it occurred because valuing your soul more than approval was real. That takes a level of courage most people will never access. That takes faith most people can't fathom, and doing it quietly happened. No dramatic announcements, no lengthy explanations. Moving differently one day simply occurred, and going back never materialized. That's real power, not the loud kind that needs an audience, the quiet kind that just knows and acts accordingly. People are obsessed with watching you because transformation is magnetic, growth attracts attention, confidence captivates, and embodying all of it in real time is your current state. Waiting until it's perfect to show up isn't happening. Hiding until everything gets figured out isn't occurring. Healing in public is real. Growing visibly is fact. Transforming before everyone's eyes is truth. Some people will criticize you for it. Labels will come of being too much, too loud, too confident, too spiritual, too whatever they need to feel superior. Let them. Their opinion of you is truly none of your business. The only opinion that matters is yours and the divine's, and the divine is incredibly proud of you right now. Proud because quitting didn't happen when quitting would have been easier. Going back didn't occur when staying gone was harder. Choosing yourself repeatedly happened even when it cost you everything. That's the energy of a leader. Someone who knows worth isn't debatable. Someone who understands value doesn't decrease based on another person's inability to see it. Carrying yourself with certainty now is real, not arrogance, just unshakable knowing. Knowing who you are and being done apologizing for it is complete. The work you've put in is showing. The tears cried in private, the therapy sessions, the spiritual practices, the books, the shadow work, the trauma healing, the pattern breaking, the cycle ending. Nobody sees all of that. The nights when sleep didn't come because facing demons that had been run from for years was happening don't get witnessed. The moments when giving up felt tempting but continuing happened anyway remain invisible, but the divine sees, your higher self sees, and you see. Knowing how far travel has occurred is clear. Knowing how much growth happened is understood. Knowing how different you are compared to past versions is obvious. Barely recognizing that old version anymore is real. That's beautiful. That's proof the work is working. That transformation is real. That being the change instead of just talking about it is happening. You're being shown clearly now who's really in your corner and who's been playing both sides. The veil lifted. People can no longer hide in gray areas. Loyalty or lack of it is becoming black and white, crystal clear. Some people in your life have been straddling fences, playing nice with you while staying in good graces with the big bad wolves. Wanting benefits from both sides was the goal. Wanting your energy, your wisdom, your light, while also wanting to remain comfortable with people who hurt you was the attempt. Having both seemed possible to them. But seeing it now is happening. Watching people show you exactly who they are without saying a word is occurring. Actions tell the whole story, and yes, hurt might exist, disappointment might arrive. Thoughts might surface about how much love was given, how loyal you were, how taking them under your wing happened, but showing you that being strong enough to stand with you isn't possible is their current demonstration. Being brave enough to walk away from the big bad wolves isn't within their capacity. Need exists for those handouts, those bribes, those crumbs of approval, and willingness to betray you to keep them is real. These people thought playing in your face could continue forever. Belief existed that your soft spot for them meant permanent immunity. Thought patterns assumed that because forgiveness came before, forgiveness would always come. Reliance on your loyalty while never giving theirs back was the foundation. That season ended. Allowing it anymore isn't happening. Being anyone's safety net while dangerous games get played is finished. Being loyal to people who wouldn't cross the street for you is complete. Making excuses for people who show you repeatedly that deserving them isn't real has stopped. Some of these people are family. That's what makes hurt arrive stronger. Love existed when younger years were happening, trying to show a different way occurred. Hope existed that breaking the cycle together would happen. But choosing to become exactly like the people who hurt you both is their selection. Choosing comfort over courage is their decision. Security over integrity is their pick, and letting them go becomes necessary. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your destiny engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Something shifted in your physical body too. Glowing differently now is observable. People notice, but pinpointing why can't happen. Questions come about what you're doing, what's your secret, how looking younger is occurring. And smiling happens, knowing the real secret is that finally starting to take care of yourself the way you took care of everyone else is real. Paying attention to what goes in your body is happening. How stress affects you gets noticed, how gut health connects to everything else becomes understood. Changes are being made that seem small but are revolutionary. Drinking more water, prioritizing sleep, moving your body, actually resting when need exists. For so long ignoring your body's signals happened. Pushing through exhaustion was normal. Numbing pain instead of healing it was standard. But now honoring your temple is real. Treating it with respect occurs. Seeing it as sacred instead of something to punish or ignore is present. Close watching happens, notes get taken, trying to figure out the formula occurs. But no formula exists. The magic comes from the fire walked through, from the work done in the dark, from the pain transmuted into power. That's not something copying can achieve, that's something earning brings. Learning to embrace all your different sides is happening, all your personalities, all your moods. Being like a chameleon, showing different colors depending on what's needed is real, and apologizing for it anymore isn't occurring. You contain multitudes, being complex is the truth, layered is accurate, deep is real, and pretending to be one-dimensional for anyone's comfort is finished. People find you mischievous, playful, magnetic, irresistible. Wanting to keep you in their pocket exists. Wanting to be your best friend happens. Wanting access to your energy is desired. And anyone who doesn't see you that way, anyone who doesn't want to celebrate the ground you walk on, can keep moving. Interest doesn't exist. Being naughty and nice is real, soft and strong, light and shadow. Learning to integrate all of it, instead of showing people only the parts creating comfort for them, is happening. This is authentic power. This is what makes you unforgettable. When being upside down occurs, confusion exists. Drowning in despair is happening. You show light exists. You show another way is possible. You show that accepting the ratios given isn't required. You teach people that giving 90% while receiving 10 isn't necessary. You show what fair exchange looks like, what reciprocity feels like, what mutual respect creates, and this changes lives. People never forget the person who gave them hope when none existed, who believed in them when self-belief was absent, who showed surviving what seemed destructive was possible. That's you, that's your role, that's your gift. You're not just surviving your story. Using it to help others survive theirs is happening. Turning your pain into purpose is real, your mess into a message, your test into testimony, and that's what makes you unstoppable. Standing alone taught you that real love doesn't require losing yourself. Real connection doesn't cost you your peace. Real relationships don't demand betraying your own knowing to make someone else comfortable. And once understanding that arrived, once really getting it in your bones happened, going back couldn't occur. Unseeing it became impossible. Pretending anymore that those old dynamics were acceptable couldn't happen. This is why confusion about you now exists with people. Being used to seeing people who stand alone looking broken was their experience. Looking desperate to get back into someone's good graces was expected. Looking like barely surviving was the assumption. But thriving is your reality. Radiant is your state. Being more yourself than ever before is truth. And making sense of this can't happen for them. Trying to find cracks is occurring. Trying to find evidence that secret misery exists is the goal. Trying to catch you in a weak moment so confirmation can arrive that walking away was a mistake is the hope. Getting that moment will never happen. Going back isn't occurring. Not to the old job that showed disrespect. not to the relationship that required being small, not to the family dynamics that demanded accepting abuse in the name of loyalty, not to the friendships that were draining you dry. Being done with all of it is complete, and the way being done is so final, so complete, so permanent, that actually scaring people who thought knowing you was real is happening. Every time standing firm in your boundary occurs, every time choosing yourself happens, every time walking away from something that doesn't honor you takes place, literally rewiring your nervous system is occurring. Teaching your body that safety doesn't come from people-pleasing is happening. Safety comes from self-trust. Safety comes from knowing that always having your own back will happen. Safety comes from the unshakable knowing that being alone becomes preferable to compromising who you are. Your body is learning this. Your cells are learning this. Your energy field is learning this. And as learning happens, as integration occurs, as becoming your new default setting manifests, something extraordinary takes place. Starting to emit a frequency that repels anything not aligned with your truth is real. Being something done consciously isn't the case. Happening automatically is truth. Your energy field has become so refined, so clear, so powerful that simply not allowing misaligned connections anymore is the reality. Operating as a walking boundary now is your state. Even having to explain yourself anymore isn't necessary. Having to defend your choices isn't required. Having to justify why tolerating certain behaviors won't happen isn't needed. Your energy does all the talking. People feel it the moment stepping into your space occurs. Feeling that playing games with you anymore can't happen arrives for them. Feeling that you're not the one becomes clear. Feeling that becoming someone who sees through everything has happened is understood. And for the real ones, the ones who are genuine, the ones who have good intentions, your energy feels like coming home. Feeling safe with you happens for them. Feeling seen by you occurs. Feeling like finally being able to exhale, because trying to manipulate them or control them or take from them isn't your agenda arrives. Just being real is happening. Being authentic is occurring. Being exactly who you are is truth. And that gives them permission to do the same. Walking around activating people just by existing is literally happening, just by being yourself, just by refusing to play the old games. And some people love you for it. Gratitude exists. Inspiration is real. Being changed by knowing you occurs. But others hate you for it. Because making them look at themselves is happening. Making them confront their own cowardice is real. Making them face the fact that still accepting crumbs while you're over here building your own bakery is the reality. This is why haters are so loud. This is why the inability to stop talking about you exists. Because being a mirror for everything wished could be manifested but too scared to become is your function for them. Taking the leap still being contemplated by them happened for you. Doing the work still being avoided by them occurred for you. Becoming the person still just being dreamed about happened for you. And instead of being inspired by you, instead of learning from you, trying to tear you down happens because your existence makes them uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable, let them stay stuck, let them keep choosing familiar misery over unknown freedom. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to keep being exactly who you are. Keep standing in your power. Keep choosing yourself. Keep showing people what's possible. The ones who are ready will get it. The ones who aren't ready will hate you for it. And both responses are none of your business. What is your business is this magic being cultivated, this ability to stand alone without feeling lonely, this capacity to be whole without needing someone else to complete you, this power to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you and not look back with regret. This is rare. This is special. This is what most people spend their entire lives trying to find and never do because willingness to walk through the fire to get to it doesn't exist. You walked through the fire. Still walking through it in some ways is happening, and every flame that tries to burn you is actually purifying you, refining you, removing impurities, burning away false beliefs, destroying old identities that never served you. Being forged into something unbreakable is occurring, something that can withstand any storm, something that can stand alone in any circumstance and not just survive but thrive. This is what gets seen when looking at you happens, and it terrifies. Because if you can do it, it means possibility exists for them too, and being ready to do it isn't their state. Being ready to face themselves isn't real. Being ready to be alone with their own thoughts isn't happening. Being ready to confront the ways betraying themselves to keep other people happy has occurred isn't present. So instead of looking inward, looking at you and trying to find something wrong happens. Trying to find a flaw occurs. Trying to find evidence that not really doing as well as appearing to be is the goal. Finding it will never happen, because doing that well is real. Being that aligned is truth. Being that powerful is fact. And only getting stronger is the trajectory. Every day choosing yourself happens. Adding to this foundation being built occurs. Every day honoring your truth takes place. Strengthening this connection to source manifests. Every day standing alone occurs. Proving to yourself that capability exists is real. That will exists is true. That being this person is happening. The more standing alone happens, the more attracting your real tribe is manifesting. Not the people who want to use you, not the people who want to take from you, not the people who want to control you, but the people who genuinely see you, who value you, who appreciate you for exactly who you are. These people are coming into your life now, and being different from anyone encountered before is true. These people don't need you to be anything other than yourself. Needing you to perform or pretend or shrink doesn't exist. Love at full volume is real. Celebrating your wins without jealousy happens. Supporting your dreams without trying to dim them occurs. Respecting your boundaries without making you feel bad for having them is natural. Showing up consistently without you having to beg for it is standard. Being loyal without you having to question it is automatic. But even with these incredible people in your life, still knowing how to stand alone will remain. Because standing alone isn't about being without people, it's about being whole within yourself regardless of who's around you. It's about knowing that your peace doesn't depend on anyone else. It's about understanding that being complete exactly as you are is real, and everything else is just addition, not completion. Sharing your story can happen, explaining the journey can occur, but fully getting it still won't happen unless willingness exists to do what you did, unless willingness to stand alone is real, unless willingness to walk away from everything comfortable and familiar exists, unless willingness to face themselves in the mirror and do the deep work of becoming who they really are underneath all the conditioning and programming and performance is present. Most people aren't willing. Wanting the result without the process is common. Wanting the glow without the growth is typical. Wanting the power without the pain is standard. And that's not how it works. Skipping steps can't happen. Bypassing the journey isn't possible. Cheating your way into genuine transformation can't occur. Walking through it is required. Feeling through it is necessary. Working through it is mandatory. And that's exactly what you did. So stand, chosen one. Stand in your power, knowing earning every ounce of it happened. Stand in your truth, knowing paying the price for it occurred. Stand in your magic, knowing it came from the deepest parts of your being. Stand alone, knowing never being truly alone is real, because the divine walks with you, stands with you, breathes through you. People who are used to having power over others through manipulation become absolutely fixated on the person they can't manipulate. It drives them to distraction. It consumes their thoughts. It dominates their conversations, because you represent a problem they can't solve, a puzzle they can't crack, a code they can't break. And instead of accepting that maybe the problem is their approach, instead of considering that maybe control over others isn't their right, they double down, they try harder, they recruit others, they create narratives, they launch campaigns. Let them. Every single thing done against you is actually working for you. Every attack strengthens your resolve. Every lie told about you clarifies your truth. Every person who walks away reveals who was real. Every test you pass proves your readiness for the next level. You're not being destroyed by what's happening. You're being prepared, refined, perfected, positioned. The universe is watching how you handle this level of opposition, how you move through this level of attack, how you stand through this level of pressure, and your response is everything. Because rising to the occasion is happening, maintaining your integrity is occurring, keeping your peace is real, staying in your power is truth, and that response is qualifying you for the next chapter of your life. What's coming for you requires someone who can stand alone, someone who can hold their ground, someone who can maintain their frequency regardless of external chaos, someone who can stay aligned with truth even when lies are swirling, someone who can choose peace even when drama is beckoning, someone who can remain in power even when attacks are constant. And you're proving daily that you are that someone. The next level of your life is waiting for you to complete this initiation, this test, this refinement process, and completion is happening right now, not someday, not eventually, right now. Every day you choose yourself, every day you maintain your boundaries, every day you protect your peace, every day you stand in your truth. You're moving closer to graduation from this level, and graduation means entering spaces you've never accessed before, opportunities you've never encountered, connections you've never experienced, resources you've never touched, because the next level requires the version of you that can stand alone, the version that knows how to protect energy, the version that can't be manipulated or controlled or swayed from purpose, and becoming that version is happening right now. So stand, chosen one. Stand knowing that everything happening is happening for you, not to you. Stand knowing that every attack is actually advancement. Stand knowing that every loss is actually gain. Stand knowing that every ending is actually a beginning. Stand knowing that standing alone is actually standing with the divine. You embody magical in real time, the magic of transformation, the magic of healing, the magic of becoming, the magic of choosing yourself, the magic of standing in truth, the magic of protecting peace, the magic of honoring your path. And watching this magic unfold, watching you step into your power, watching you claim your destiny is making people glitch, because most have never seen real magic up close, but you're showing them, teaching them, demonstrating for them, not through words but through being, through living, through embodying. You are the message, you are the proof, you are the evidence that transformation is possible, that standing alone is survivable, that choosing yourself is worth it. This knowing, this embodiment, this being is what makes you magical. And no amount of glitching from others can change that. No amount of opposition can stop that. No amount of resistance can dim that. You are who you are. You embody what you embody. You stand how you stand. And that is unchangeable, unshakable, undeniable. You are the chosen one who knows how to stand alone, and that changes everything.